the turkey's head was like, and he's like, look at this big ass turkey
I
out
went
here.
outside.
There is no convenience here.
Driving. You want to talk about driving here compared to America?
Strawberries. And if you do find the good strawberries, you go pale.
Action.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our channel. I'm Jess,
I'm done.
and today we're going to talk about differences.
Some differences between here and
My whole life has changed.
from America and Nigeria.
Yes.
More specifically, probably like Cincinnati to Lagos.
Yes. So we don't really have like a set number, but we're just gonna kind of converse about it.
Converse
about it. So, as you all know, we have moved from Cincinnati, Ohio, to Lagos, Nigeria. And it was definitely a change.
Definitely a change.
And just here's a few differences that between the two, U.S. and Nigeria.
Yeah.
I would say the number one thing is the demographic and diversity.
What?
Yeah, demographic and diversity.
Is that much difference here?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. There is hella black people here.
Wow, I didn't even
And I
know
love
this.
it. And I love it.
I felt right at home. I
Good.
didn't even
You
know.
should feel right at home. You should go to any country and feel right at home, no matter what you look like. But yeah, demographic, there's a lot that goes into demographic. Population, there's a hell of a lot of people here. There is a lot of people here. So whereas in the US, it's like a bit more spread out. You don't feel like people are on top of each other. Really.
Certain places they are, but
Yeah. But like think about this. New York has like 12 million people? There's like 22 million people in Lagos. And Lagos is like the size of Indianapolis.
It's a lot of people on top of each other here.
And much smaller than New York, but there's like a lot more people here. So there's a lot of people. So demographic, a lot of black people. There's other races too. You see a lot of different people from a lot of different places.
There's
especially
multiple cultures. It's not just Nigerians, but there's just a lot of people in general here.
Yeah, a lot of people. But in terms of like demographic, you'll see, especially Nigeria being like an oil country, so you see a lot of people who come to work for oil companies here. British people, Indian people, just lots of people from Europe, lots of people from India, lots of people from the Middle East. A lot of Americans spackled here and there. So it's very nice. In terms of diversity, genetic diversity, there are over 200 tribes, not to talk of people who have immigrated here, but there are over 200 tribes in Nigeria alone. Lots of languages, lots of diversity, and it's beautiful. Like it's great to like go down the street and you can hear, Pidgin, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Efik. Well, this is Lagos, so you'll hear a lot of different languages because there's a lot of different tribes here that went to Lagos to, make some money. So demographic and diversity. So diversity is not always of like the skin tone. Obviously, diversity, different walks of life. People come from lots of different places and different tribes. So that I would say that's like a big difference. The ability for people to speak multiple languages.
Except for me.
America, we're looking at you. Yeah, get it together. Because little kids here have you beat. They switch from language to language to language. So I think that's kind of amazing. Would say convenience is a big difference here. There is no convenience here.
No, it's very few and far between.
Yeah, like it's just...
But it depends. Like Jessica got a massage. Like you can get, like she got a massage in the house yesterday. Like there are things that are different. Like that's more convenient than going somewhere. Like if you can get a good massage and you have a good table. But like in America, usually you're gonna go somewhere and get the massage. One of the things that I've noticed there aren't as many. Like there are some, but like in America, like everything is like franchised. Like they're owned by the big four or whatever, like the big companies. Like you have your Lowe's and your Home Depot, and those two go at it. There's no like convenience stores here. There's no like home like hardware stores. Like you can't just go down the street and buy like a chainsaw because you need a chainsaw or a drill or something like that. You need to know somebody who does stuff like that, and if you're lucky, they have the tools. Yeah.
Yeah, where you're gonna go like in the market and you're gonna be searching for who sells those things.
But like, there's like Spar and there's Shop right here, but like for the most part, the stores are smaller stores. Like the places that we go, they're like one-off stores. They're not like, oh, I can go to this Kroger or I can go to that Walmart or Meijer or like they're usually smaller, not small, but like they're like one-off stores.
Yeah.
A lot
and
of that with
then you have
restaurants
to go
too.
into convenience. Like you already know that you have to go to multiple stores to get everything that you want.
Yeah.
Whereas like maybe in America, like 1 or 2 stores, but here you're talking like 5 or 6 stores. Like you know which store to get your meat, to get your fruit, to get your vegetables, to get your convenience items. And a lot of that has to do with it's not that the store doesn't have what you want, but the price disparity. Like there is not like a lot of convenience price regulation. So you can go to one store and something is 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira is what, like 20 bucks?
Yeah.
Estimate. But then you can go to another store and you can see it for 2,000 naira, and it's the same exact product, same exact quality. So you have to know where you're going and what you're gonna get at that place.
And the thing is, you have to go there and look for yourself too, because you can't do like online shopping and like price check things.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the things that we'll get, we'll go to the store and like just go routinely find something, and I'll go and take it to the front and have them scan it because like there's no price listed or something like that. So a lot of it is just it's different, but I mean,
Yeah, and prices change like every day, like because a lot of people
so in
base
America
their
your
prices
prices
on the dollar.
yeah, they're
So
set.
the dollar, you know, as naira depreciates, you know, it moves like this kind of. So prices never go back down for real. Rarely do prices go back down, but they will go back up. And they'll be like, oh, dollar, dollar, dollar.
They blame everything on the dollar.
Yeah,
the price
everything
of
that
the
they
dollar.
do on the price of the dollar.
Um,
So, but yeah, convenience.
Driving. You want to talk about driving here compared to America?
So there's rules of the road, and so I passed my driver's test because I know the rules of the road because it's a lot of it is simple. But like,
A lot
do
of it,
people
you
follow
think-
the rules of
yeah.
the road? Like driving here, is it driving in traffic? And traffic is more like Lagos traffic. Everybody, no matter who you talk to, a lot of people live in Nigeria and they're like, oh, I can't live in Lagos because that traffic. You think for me, it's just something you get used to. Like we're just used to it at this point.
Yeah.
But like driving here, you have to be prepared. You have to like face your front. Like know that you're gonna get frustrated, that you're gonna fight with people, that you're gonna battle to turn. Like if you have chance, if you're making a left turn and you have the chance to make that left turn, make it. Or you're gonna be stuck there forever. Like if you try to go and bring international standards of driving here, or let's say American standards of driving here, it's not gonna work for you. It's not gonna work
Like an
at
example.
all.
Like an example. Here they call it like the line, like the queue. So like, if you're trying to take a left turn, in America, like you have a left turn lane. If you're lucky, you have an arrow. If not, you go when you can. Like when it's a green light. You obviously don't turn left on red. Like there's obvious things. Here, somebody like if the line is too long in the left hand lane and it's backed up, people will routinely drive up and they'll stop and they'll cut you off or cut the person in front off to turn because they don't want to wait in line. So I mean, a lot of the times you'll get stuck because of traffic, but it's a blessing and a curse sometimes because a lot of those people are crazy and they'll jump in front of you just to get the traffic to slow down so that you can turn. because there might not be a traffic man at that individual intersection. So I mean, if you're lucky enough that someone's crazy enough to jump out there, you just go with them. But I mean, people routinely will jump in front of you, cut you off. I'm still trying to understand the language of the horn, like honking your horn in the car. Jessica will be like, "That's not what you're supposed to honk your horn for." Well, I was honking my horn so the bike person, I wouldn't hit the bike person, because the way that the motorcycles drive here, like there must be a short life expectancy for people that deliver things because they're crazy.
Yeah, and police haven't really been on the road lately since the NSARS protests. So a lot more. We live on the island, and a lot of Okada is like bike taxis. They are banned on the island, but they're just everywhere now because police aren't really around to stop them. So you just see they just roll through your blind spot. You could be making a turn and they'll just come.
Not even roll through. Like, this is what I was getting frustrated the other day. Like, the bikes will routinely stay like in my blind spot. Like, whether it's like my left brake light or my right brake light, like on the back of the vehicle. It's like, you don't understand. That's not where you want to be. Like, you don't want to be right on somebody's bumper on the left or the right side. So I mean, it just doesn't make sense the way that they drive. But that's the way they're used to driving. So
yeah, driving.
But yeah, traffic in America used to stress me out. Like, that's something that would really drive me nuts.
I always told him,
like driving
like,
here,
oh, just wait till you go to Nigeria, you'll never complain about traffic again. And he was like, oh, whatever. Then he got here.
So
we love American traffic. If I could sit in American highway traffic for that, oh, it's an extra 30 minutes. Try an extra 7 hours. Try an extra 7 hours.
I've literally sat in traffic for 2 hours to go like a quarter of a mile because there wasn't like a traffic man posted at that intersection. So I mean,
well, remember that time? So we were here. Well, now it's not last year. End of the year 2019, and he left. We were staying at the hotel. He left the hotel to go get Domino's, and it is literally like a stone throw away. It is so close. And they were like, "You guys are gone for like 2.5 hours." And he said, just getting out of the hotel, that they fixed it now, but like just getting out of that intersection took you guys like half an hour.
It was rough.
So.
But yeah, that was also during December when everybody was in town visiting. So I mean, there's busy times. There's times that aren't as bad, but
yeah. I would say another difference is, and I know people are going to get offended, but I don't care at this point. Like manners. And when I say manners, I mean like, why is it that here in Nigeria, the first time you meet somebody, you greet somebody, people who don't know you from Adam, oh, you've gained weight. Oh, you've put on weight. And not just me, even like other like smaller people, oh, that's so small. That's so, like, what is it your business? Commenting on people's size. Like, it's like, that's their greeting to you. And they think it's like, okay. Like, that's what I want to know.
A lot of people will project their insecurities onto people as they greet them.
Yes, like one girl was like, came up to me and she's like, oh, your face is getting big. And the funny thing is, like, since I've seen her, her face is definitely wider. So I'm like, but I look the same that I've looked in like years. Like, if you can look back on our videos, like I haven't really been, I've gotten smaller probably over the last few years, but my weight kind of, does like this as always. But in terms of like drastic change, I haven't had any like drastic changes in like the last 2-3 years. So I just kind of like looked at him like, okay. And then they'll open their mouth to ask you for their Christmas presents. Like, no, but seriously, like manners. Like, not saying that people in America aren't thinking that you're too big or too small, whatever, but not a lot of people would just come up to you like you don't even have a relationship.
Start the conversation off like that.
Yeah, start the conversation off like that. Like, and maybe you don't even have a relationship, or you haven't seen this person in like 7, 8, 10 years.
The last time this person saw you were a child. So.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like that's like one thing that I'm like, what is wrong with Like, why do y'all do that here in Nigeria? If somebody wants to comment and tell me why Nigerians feel the need to comment on your weight,
But this is one thing that I was
I
talking
would
to her about the
love
other
to
day
know.
as well. So like gaining weight in America and gaining weight here are very different.
yeah,
So like the average size of somebody here is much smaller compared to America with everybody eating nonsense. So I mean, like you're gonna have routinely bigger people in America, um, just because of like diet intake, lack of exercise. Whereas here, people are used to walking
everywhere.
every day, everywhere.
And it's
So
hot.
it's hot. You're gonna stink. You're gonna sweat. You gonna move
But I
around.
think that kind of segues into food, like the differences in food.
But yeah,
like,
what I was saying about like the way things I was telling her, like a lot of wealthy people here are bigger because they have an abundance of food, so they'll just eat. So like another way of looking at it is someone saying, "Oh, like, oh, you're gaining weight. You're doing well." So I mean,
yeah.
I don't always think that. Not saying that certain people aren't trying to be rude, but certain other people are.
Like other people think it's like a compliment.
Yeah.
Like, well, it might be a compliment, but I have found that I personally just don't comment on somebody's, like, unless someone has talked to me specifically about their,
Jessica's never commented on somebody's size.
yeah, like about their ups or downs. Not that I've never commented. I have. And
No,
I've
like-
learned my lesson. But
Like conversing with somebody, like
yeah, but I don't really, even if I think someone looks great, unless I say like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," like I don't say, "Oh, you're so small," or "Oh, you're so big," because I think that's just, it can become a toxic
can be
conversation. Yeah.
misconstrued or
Misconstrued.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, people can. You never know this is a little PSA. You never know what someone's going through with their weight. They can have, eating disorders, body disorders,
Or
body
gymnasium.
dysmorphia, hypergymnasia. You just don't know what someone's going through.
You say
whether-
gymnasium.
Hypergymnasia,
Sorry.
which
I
is
didn't understand what you said.
which is basically like someone who's like so obsessed with like constantly working out. I had this. So like it's like you're constantly working out and you feel like you like have to keep working out. And part of it was like my body changing and I was obsessed with seeing my body change. And the other part was like loving working out. So but yeah, like there's a lot of reasons you shouldn't comment on someone's size, whether you think they're too small or too big, because you don't know what they think about themselves, End of my PSA announcement.
Segueing into food.
Food. There is so much sugar in stuff in America. Like, you will come and you're just healthier, I think, because like I said, it doesn't have to do with size, but like the quality of food here
The lack of
is so much
the
better.
lack of sugar and preservatives and things is pretty crazy when you think of what you're eating on a day-to-day basis in America compared to here. Like everything here, not everything, but most things are much fresher, in terms of like they haven't had as many chemicals in them or preservatives. Like the chicken that you're having, I mean, that chicken was probably alive like a week or 2 weeks ago. So I
Not
mean,
even a week or
yeah,
2 weeks
so I
ago.
mean,
Probably
it just
yesterday.
depends on like the area, but also
Like our neighbor had a whole turkey. This turkey was so big, like its head. Like, we all
it was
have
around
fences.
Christmas time.
Yeah, we all have fences and or block
They're like
fences,
3 to 4
and it's
feet.
like 3.5 feet
Yeah.
or so. And the turkey's head was like, and he's like, "Look at this big ass turkey
I
out
went
here."
outside. I was like, "What's this turkey doing out here?"
And I was like, "They're
she's
gonna
like,
cook it."
"They're about to eat it." I was like, "What?"
I think they didn't eat it for a few days.
No, they had
Yeah,
they had a feast.
Some
They
type
had
of party going
a
on,
grill,
and I wanted to go out there and be like, "Hey, can I get
some big turkey
Can I
legs.
get some turkey?"
But yeah, the food is much different. Like the drinks here are also
Less sugary.
less sugary. Like the Sprite is one thing that I've noticed. Sprite tastes completely different here because of the amount of sugar that's in it,
Yeah.
like the lack thereof.
Lemonade. So forever, I was telling everybody, I need lemonade. There's no lemonade here. There's no lemonade here. And so I think that goes back into, I think we talked about it in another video about how you have to go to like different stores. So we found a new store recently, and they sell like the Country Time powder lemonade, and I was
But that
so
was the first time
excited.
we had seen it.
Yeah, so I 8, 9, well, yeah, shoot, like 10 months now. I've been like, where's the lemonade at? I need lemonade. Um, Going into food, things taste different. Like a whole bunch of people were saying, I was seeing like all over like Nigerian social media that like strawberries are useless, and I'm like, between strawberries and pineapples, I think those are the strongest, most flavorful fruits, and the strawberries here don't taste like anything unless you get like a good importer that imports strawberries. Like they literally taste like nothing, and I feel so bad for like people never having experienced how good a strawberry
Poor
is.
people never had it.
I know,
Good strawberry.
but the pineapples here are amazing. So maybe that makes up for the lack of quality strawberries. And if you do find the good strawberries, you go pay, oh. You go pay. Like you, and if you want like the stuff that you want, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay for that. The convenience of having the food you want. So yeah. Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Is that what they call it? Nigeria's power situation, the light situation. So we went to the store. So we went back for like a month and a half. Went back to America for a month and a half in October. We came back. We picked up our dog and everything, and we came back. And we where did we go? And I was like, oh, we have to think of like the power going out. Was it Best Buy or we went somewhere? I can't remember now. And I was talking to Johnny, and I was like, oh, we have to think of like the power and stuff, like voltage or something like that. And the guy is just like, he looked so confused.
Oh, you were buying. I don't think it was a step down or something like that, but it was like a converter or something.
Yeah, I was looking for something. I can't remember.
But the person didn't understand.
He was like, oh, the power goes out like once.
Very rarely.
Like he was just like, oh, well, how often does power actually go out? He just said it all kind of cocky. And we're like, well, we live in Nigeria, so we get power surges,
Like
power
day.
going out every day. And he's like, oh, well then yeah, you're gonna need.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of funny because the power. So we live in an estate that has 24/7 power. So they switch between NEPA, which is no longer NEPA, it's now PHCN. They switch between PHCN and the generator power. And so, I mean, you get used to it. Let's just say that. You just get used to it.
The only inconvenience is when you're waiting on someone to turn the generator. So they have.
Or at night,
Yeah.
if everybody has fallen asleep.
So like last
and
night,
you
for
have to,
instance.
yeah, last night it was like 12:45.
And Jessica gets out of bed. She's like, the power's been off for
I'm
20
like, the
minutes.
power has been off for 20 minutes. And so I go out to our balcony to see if I can see anyone. The door is closed. And I was going to go down the 3 flights of steps we have, and outside to the gate people, because they don't answer the phone, to tell them to turn the generator on. But I saw another neighbor walking towards the gate, and so he ended up telling that last night. But it's just, yeah, that kind of stuff. Differences, security, how people treat security here. Like, it's very important. You will see some people who carry around escorts. Some people, I don't have any money, yo. I don't have anything. So please don't come to me for anything, no. I don't have escorts. I don't have money, yo. So,
like people are worried about like washing our cars and stuff like that.
Like
Honestly, I'd rather look dirty, because if it looks dirty, nobody's gonna ask me for money. So
no, but packaging, that's like a big difference. Like, and one thing I'll definitely say that Nigeria has taught me is to be more conscious of like how I look. because in America, sweat, sweat, sweats, comfortable, comfortable, comfortable. I mean, I'm still always comfortable, but I actually like take the time to like dress up, get ready. And I remember we were here, somebody said to me, I'm sure he's gonna watch this video and he's gonna know it's him I'm talking about you. So he was like, Jessica just dresses anyhow. She just dresses anyhow. And I was like kind of offended, but then like we got off the plane for the first time after being here for 7 months, and I was like, wow, Americans just dress anyhow. And I don't mean that obviously offensively, or maybe I do, I don't know. But like we are definitely more casual, much more comfortable in ourselves and in our own space. Whereas Nigeria, especially Lagos has this thing called packaging. People can have no money, like they live in their car. They're driving around. Excuse me. They're driving around in like a G-Wagon, like it's like who you know, what cars you got.
It doesn't matter what the temperature is outside of what's going on.
They're like dressed up, and I'm like,
to look nice.
Like one time I was like, oh, why is this guy under the car? And they were like, oh, he's the mechanic. And the way he was dressed up, I was like, how is he the mechanic? They're like, oh yeah, those are his work clothes. That's what he looks when he's at work. Those are not even fancy. And I thought he was going to a party. So I thought he was helping somebody on the side of the road.
And I'm walking around in like gym shorts and
we were definitely
like no sleeve shirts so that I'm not sweating. It's crazy. And there's people walking around in like 3-piece suits. Like they will sweat out that 3-piece suit. They don't care because packaging. You have to look. Packaging. It's supposed to look a certain way.
You have to look a certain way, look the part. But I mean, my mom always told me that when I was younger. Like, make sure you dress up. Don't go out anyhow. But I feel like maybe not that I don't like to dress up, but my whole not dressing up was maybe more like a rebellious thing of, oh, she told me to do this, so I'm not going to do this. But
that's never happened though. Multiple times.
That's me. Oh, you want me to do something? Okay.
So do the opposite thing.
Yeah. So, or just don't tell me to do anything. You can ask.
Just don't tell me to do anything.
Just ask. But yeah, so would you say the differences between coronavirus? I would say early on, America wasn't taking it as seriously as Nigeria was. Like it was so serious here. We got
here in March. They already had like thermal cameras up to take temperatures. Yeah. They were already the masks
mandate.
They were doing like sanitizer everywhere.
Yeah, like they closed down. Well, we're saying in reference to where we stayed in Lagos. Yeah. So like masks, they closed down markets. They limited people going into stores. You have to wash your hands, sanitize your hands.
They limited the amount of people going into stores.
Yeah.
They built makeshift sinks outside of the store so that people could wash their hands and stuff like that before you go in. So I mean,
and they're still doing that now. Yeah. But in terms of it, it's not as much. Whereas I feel like the U.S. now is like taking it way more seriously than Nigeria is now. Because I think Nigeria is just tired.
I feel like Nigerians are a bit the way that Americans were like a couple months ago. Yeah. So I mean, I feel like everybody's tired of like the way things are. They want to like enjoy and stuff like that because it's mid to late January now, so everybody's like done enjoying from December and stuff like that.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, hopefully. People, because you'll find people that don't wear masks and stuff like that, and then there's people that are very serious about it. So I feel like some people are just tired of it and they just feel like it's gone. But I mean, it's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah.
Definitely not gone though.
What other differences there is? I mean, there's a lot. I mean, language barriers. You know, people speaking a lot of different languages, which we talked about, right? Diversity.
One thing that America needs to get better at is their banking. So the banking here, in terms of how convenient it is kind of crazy in my opinion. compared to America and how
Yeah.
they do their banking.
Like instant bank transfers are
Yeah.
amazing.
Like you can, like I can transfer money from multiple banks on my phone, and I don't have to use like a third party app or something like that. So I mean, I can just transfer from my bank app to her account. She can transfer to me and transfer to somebody doing work for us. It's just way more convenient instead of like, oh, let's send me some money on Cash App or Venmo, and then you have to wait 1 to 3 business days or whatever it is for it to hit your account or stuff like that. It just seems like there's a better way to do it
Yeah.
in terms of how they do it here. I mean, there's definitely flaws because you have people that will send like fake alerts and stuff like that. So it's not perfect, but it's definitely more convenient for changing money, for transferring money, stuff like that.
Yeah, banking is, I would say, up there.
Now, going to the bank isn't fun. You'll be there for a while, but
So, and then that's kind of where it segues into like knowing people. Whereas I think here in Nigeria, knowing people is so much more important than in America. Because really in America, not that it doesn't matter who you are, but it's definitely like you're going to wait your turn in line. Whereas here, you know somebody, oh yeah, just talk to her, just go there. You know what I mean? You can kind of just wiggle your way, knowing
you can bypass some frustration sometimes.
Some frustration. So there's definitely, I would say, but I would also say that Nigeria has more opportunity for people like to come up, but it's more capital intensive. Like there's more opportunity, but it's more capital intensive. Like
in certain ways, not in every way though.
Not in every way, but like let's say just to rent a space, you're gonna have to pay a year.
You're gonna pay the year in advance, but you're also not gonna have to deal with certain things you would have to deal with in America, like
red tape.
The red tape.
That's why we were red today.
Yeah.
Red tape.
No. So I mean, depending on the business, you're gonna have somebody that wants to come in and check everything, or like get certain
rules
things
and
passed.
regulations.
Yeah. There's no rules or regulations here.
There are.
They just don't enforce them.
They do. There's just ways.
Depending on
ways around everything apparently.
Who you know.
Who you know. This is really a who you know society. And hopefully you guys all get to know us. It's like I think we're doing like deep differences, like what we see anyway. I mean, perspective, is always different from another point of view. So this is really just our perspective, I think. I mean, I think people are definitely more friendly here.
Greeting. People greet you.
Oh yeah, well, that's
much more frequently here.
I don't even think. Well, greeting I think is more like a cultural, showing respect thing, like greeting.
But overall,
good afternoon, good evening.
Like
morning.
Overall, like more like concern for your well-being.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've been having like nerve issues in my back, so sometimes I walk with a cane, and people are much more accommodating, much more caring. Actually, one of the security officers was like, "Oh, you should just cut the line." When we were at the bank, he's like, "Oh, just cut the line because of your cane." And I was like, these ladies turned around as soon as he said that. I was like, "Oh no, it's okay. I can wait." Cut the line at other places definitely, but at the bank, everybody's stressed, so you don't want to cut the line at the bank for no reason. We weren't pressed that day, so. But yeah, there's a lot of differences. Let's see, housing, just the way, in terms of this is from Cincinnati. Cincinnati usually does the wood framing, wood structures. Here is cement block, framing and structures. So I think when you want to do some remodel or if there's issues, it's way more money. It's like you could just open up drywall and then just patch that drywall. Whereas here, you're like knocking into like the actual
like heavy
walls.
construction to do certain things.
So like we have been having water issues, and nobody wants to fix it because they know how much money it's going to be. So yeah, like definitely housing. I would say another thing is, and maybe part of the reason why we moved here is the convenience of life. So there's not like conveniences in terms of like convenience store, hardware store. You have to go to all these different little stores, all the market, you know what I mean? And then when you go to the market, you have to know people who know where to go in the market to get what you're looking for. You can't just go to the market with your eyes closed and get what you want.
Yeah, good luck.
But the little conveniences, I think he mentioned, was this video, another video about me getting a massage. Like, people can come to your house, you can get your nails done, your lashes done, everything from the convenience of your home. Yes. Which is what I like to do. I don't really like to go out this coronavirus times. I can regulate people wearing masks, people sanitizing, people taking off their shoes when they come to my house. Whereas, here, yeah. But there's just the little conveniences of life, which I think maybe America, it's not really seen as like, okay, like, for example, like we have a nanny, and putting a pin in that, we do not have children. My parents adopted 2 little boys, and they have been living with us since June.
Yeah.
So, yes. So we have a nanny, and we have a housekeeper, and sometimes we have a driver. And the convenience of having all of those people helping you and around your house, I think, is amazing, but not really something that is done in America. Or if it's done, it's not done like,
or that you can afford, that most can afford.
Affordability is the difference. Whereas we are, everyone says I'm paying too much money, which I don't think so, but I pay higher than most people would for the nanny, and that's just, I love the ease of knowing that the kids are safe, but you can go out and do something. If you get stuck somewhere, it's not a big deal. So like having those issues that surround traffic and time, knowing that you're not like rushing back home, like, oh my gosh, it's 6 o'clock and I haven't gotten dinner started yet.
You have to have that peace of mind, because
you just come home.
You're not going to be able to rush home like a lot of the times because of traffic or things like that. So I mean, like you can put time frames on things, but it's most of the time it's not going to happen the way that you think it is. So
you don't usually say thank you.
Well, thank you. But yeah, there are differences. Some good, some bad.
Yeah. Let's see. We talked about power. We talked about food. Talked about ease of life. There's some like differences people might not expect. Water. So there ain't no water bill. Hey. There's no water bill, but you're gonna have to pay to treat that water. Like, yeah. So we live on in an estate that they treat the water.
So what they do is they just throw some chemicals in there, and voila, it's treated.
No. So what we do, we have our own reverse osmosis water plant, our own personal water plant in our backyard.
Yeah.
And yeah,
the water is much nicer than what other people use.
It's actually drinkable water. It's drinkable. It's pure and clear, not brown. No sand in it, which is what when we clean out the membranes, there's just a lot of sand and cement packed in there. So even though their water is treated, they don't like sift out that stuff, whereas we do. So yeah, we didn't pay for water, but I think that water treatment plant was probably like 3 years of water bills.
Yeah. So I mean.
Yeah. So you can't. A lot of people, you see bottled water everywhere. A lot of people cannot drink the rarely do people drink the water. Even though our water is drinkable, I still only use it for cooking, and that's if I'm draining the water.
Yeah. We have like multiple what's that thing, like water dispensers,
water coolers.
Yeah, so I mean we just get the big things of water and put them on there.
That was it. That was differences. That was my whole life has changed. Because everybody knows, we don't know why Genuine named that song Differences. We really don't. But this video talks about how our life has changed and the differences between Cincinnati.
I didn't even know that song was called Differences.
Nobody knows. Because it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.